Hi everyone, Stacy Whiter here on behalf of Campus Mortgage with part 2 of a 3-part video series on occupancy requirements for VA loans. Now just a quick reminder before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice or used in place of VA guidelines. Also, this video was issued on October 30th, 2018, and the information contained in this video is subject to change without notice. So as we discussed in part 1, VA does require the veteran to personally occupy the property as his or her primary home. But let's look at some other situations where the occupancy requirements can be met under certain circumstances. So for example, spouse and occupancy. So occupancy or intention to occupy a property by the spouse of the veteran does satisfy the occupancy requirement for the veteran who is on active duty and can't personally occupy the home within a reasonable time frame. This applies certainly to EARLs, but be sure if you have a special circumstance to reach out to your VARLC or your regional loan center for more information. Also, for underwriting, take into account any additional costs that may apply if the veteran and the spouse have to maintain separate residences. So take that into account if it applies. Now, no family member or person other than the veteran's spouse can satisfy the occupancy requirement for the veteran. So that if they have an adult child or a close family member, a mother or father, they cannot satisfy. It must be the spouse of the veteran. Now, what about occupancy for deployed active duty veterans? So a single or married service member while deployed from their permanent duty station are considered to be in a temporary duty status and able to provide a valid intent to occupy for certification. Now, this is true without regard to whether or not a spouse will be available to occupy the property or home prior to the veteran's return from deployment. So if a veteran is not physically able to occupy the property, they can still meet the occupancy requirements if they are deployed somewhere away from their permanent duty station. Occupancy after retirement. So if a veteran is going to retire within 12 months and wants to purchase a home in an area where they plan to retire, the lender must verify the veteran's eligibility for retirement on that specific date, so it must be documented, and obtain a copy of the veteran's application for retirement. The lender should carefully consider the veteran's income after retirement, and this can only be done within a 12-month period. So for example, if the veteran is going to be retiring within 12 months and can meet these requirements, then it should be okay generally. However, if they're going to be retiring in the foreseeable future or maybe the next couple of years, that would not be acceptable in this situation to meet the occupancy requirements. All right, that concludes part 2 of this 3-part video series. Make sure you check out part 3. Thanks so much for watching. For more tips and videos, please visit campusmortgage.org to look for their weekly mortgage video tips designed for all mortgage professionals, including underwriters, loan officers, processors, closers, and post-closers. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.